We can put the brooms away. The Dallas Mavericks have staved off elimination. They've forced the Game 5, so we're heading back to Boston on Monday. Hey everyone, this is Spectator Sports. I'm your host, Sebastian Fonseca. Let's break down Game 4 of the NBA Finals. For those who can probably hear, my voice is sounding a little janky right now, but I'm gonna power through. I'm battling a little bit of a cold, but it's the NBA Finals, and let's give it our all. Game 4, thankfully, was pretty much a blowout. I thought that with this game, it was pretty much over by halftime. The Mavericks established the tone, they played the pace that they like to play at, and that mainly starts with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving getting to the rim at ease. Doncic played bully ball. He was really good with a series of pump fakes and playing that sort of slow crab dribble type of game. Kyrie was electric with his acrobatic layups that we've seen, and that really put the Mavericks ahead for good. It was over midway through the second quarter, and there was a ton of garbage time, honestly. I mean, they were leading as much as 48 points in this game on the way to a 38-point blowout. They're getting contributions, thankfully, in this Game 4 from other guys. We saw Derek Lively put up another double-double, including a three-pointer. I never thought that was part of his game. Maybe he's just kind of fidgeting at that for the future, but it's nice to see him take advantage of the short corner three-pointers. And Daniel Gafford as well, him catching up some very good lob dunks and getting a really nice block on Jason Tatum in the third quarter, closing out, staying composed, and also drawing a foul in the sequence. This is Dallas Mavericks basketball. When you can get Luka and Kyrie Irving getting into the lane, and then you just don't know if they're going to shoot over the top or lob it to one of these great lob threats that they have with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. This is Dallas Mavericks basketball, and it took 3 games to really establish their pace, their tone in this series. And unfortunately, it might be too little too late, because they definitely had opportunities in this series. In Game 2, it was right there for the taking. In Game 3, it was absolutely right there for the taking. And we got to think, if Luka didn't foul out in Game 3, could this be 2-2? It's going to be shoulda, woulda, coulda, and we're also going to talk about how Luka's improved defensive play when so many people, including myself, were calling him out for his lackluster defensive play in this series. He was very dialed in, and that helped the Mavericks at least force the Game 5. Early thoughts on Game 5, I'm really expecting the Celtics to take nothing from this game. They can attribute this to a really poor shooting night and just not really having it. The Mavericks played with force, intensity, desperation, and now the Boston Celtics have a chance to close it out on their home floor. I think it's going to be close, like I've seen before in these last 2 games before Game 4, but I'm going to think that Dallas is going to give it everything they have. They're going to have to play desperate yet again, and it's going to be a really fun game. Hopefully we get more basketball, but wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics close this out. Looking at the series as a whole, the Dallas Mavericks have actually outscored the Boston Celtics thanks to this 38-point blowout. This is actually the 3rd largest margin of victory in any finals game. And they've really been there. The last couple of games, it was only a 7-point deficit when they lost. And there's just a couple tweaks that could have made to make this a better series. And still, through 4 games, the Boston Celtics have made 8 more three-pointers, and that's a 24-point difference. And when you think about just how close this margin of victory has been, it really comes down to three-point shooting. If the Mavericks can get going from outside and also try to limit the Boston Celtics, that is their formula for success. It's very hard to replicate that, because it just comes from a series of adjustments. The Boston Celtics have an extra day to adjust, to make some cleanups and alterations in their lineups and how they play defense and how they shoot the ball. I'm expecting Dallas to give it their all, but wouldn't be surprised if they end up pulling off another upset and postponing the Celtics celebrations. But the Celtics can't afford that. We know that if it gets to a Game 6 at home in Dallas, I think it's just opening up Pandora's box, and we should expect Boston to close out this series on Monday.